we have here the panel and the filler panel bolted in. I'll show you what I did. So I got the 3 screws here that's going to hold it to the quarter panel. That ensures that this curve stays nice and tight, and I did that to both sides. There's the other one. And then for the panel itself to be bolted, I put 3 on this, 1 in the corner, and then 1 in the center, and the same thing goes for the other side. Now, as you can see with the aluminum strips, I riveted to the filler panel. So there it is, and that really made it very, very stiff. I mean, it's really, really stiff. So now that's basically the setup. I did put the bumper on, and I put it on and off a couple of times, trying to ensure that I have a nice even transition with these areas. And these rivets are hidden once the bumper is attached. So there is the filler panel bolted in. So now I'm just going to do some finishing touches, and then I'll have to paint the bottom, all of it, because once I put the filler panel, I'm not going to be able to get to painting it. So that's one of the things that I got to do. So I removed the filler panel, and here's what it looks like out of the car. And it's pretty much, it retains its shape because of the aluminum strips. And then here's all the holes that I drilled. There's 3 there, there's 3 there, there's 3 there. Not these are the original factory holes. These are my new holes right there. And then there's 3 over here, and then finally 3 right there. So I gotta prep this, sand it down, and then I'm going to paint up to about maybe ½ an inch higher, and then blend it in. And that's so that when I put that filler panel on there and I seam seal it, I won't have to worry about the area behind the seam seal not fully protected. And it's going to be blended in. And then of course when the car is painted, the car will be painted and the seam seal will be painted from the top. So I'm going to prep that and see about getting it ready so that I can put this back on. So I got the Nova ready for its coating of paint. I'm going to be painting the flange area and the bottom half with the red in the side there, and then of course the other side. And that's in preparation for the filler panel, because once I put it on there, I'm never going to get to this area. And I did it about ½ inch above. What I did was I put the filler panel on and then took a marker and just made a mark, and I taped it right at that mark, so I know that it's right above the filler panel. So when I put seam seal, it'll cover that. So I did that all the way around. And I'm going to show you the paint. This is the clear coat. This was the leftover in one of my paint cups, and so I had kept it. This was from when I was doing the fender. And so let me show you right now. This is fully dry and very, very flexible. See? And so I did research, and the paint that I'm using, and of course modern paint, is very flexible nowadays because there's a lot of plastic bumpers. And so I'm hoping that because this is so flexible, and you can see how thick it is, and I can just bend it all the way until it touches and it doesn't crack or anything, I'm hoping that when I paint my filler panel that this flexibility will be of benefit. So that's why I kept this, to see how the paint will react as it dries, and so far it's great, and you can see it's crystal clear. So here's the piece of the filler panel that I had prepped with 320. It's all prepped. I'm going to paint it, and this is going to be my test after it fully dries. I'm going to bend it and do all kinds of things with it and see if the paint cracks. And it's going to be a simulation of what the filler panel is going to be like when it's painted. So I'm going to get to painting this, and we'll see how it goes. And that way I know that everything is protected after it's all fully painted. Okay, now I just gotta wax and grease remove everything I sanded, and I usually do it 2 to 3 times. I've already did it twice, so this is my 3rd time. And I use the Windex bottles to hold the wax and grease remover. It makes it easier for me to spray it on there. And as I stated in a previous video, the Windex bottle is very good at withstanding a lot of chemicals, and that's why I love using the Windex bottle. Very good bottle to use your stuff with. Okay. So just get all the dust off. If I touched it, all the grease and the stuff that's on the hands, because you don't want to touch the car right before you're going to paint it. Here's a look at the base coat. So I had to do, because I didn't put any sealer down, it didn't cover with one coat. So I put a couple very thin coats. I adjusted the gun very thin, and just did a couple thin coats until I saw coverage. So I probably put on about two coats, the equivalent of 2 coats on there. But I got coverage, and that's what I wanted. So now I got to put the clear. Well, there it is. 2 coats of clear. Since all this is hidden, came out really nice. Nice and shiny. Of course, all this will be hidden, so it doesn't really matter. You can see that reflection. Came out really nice. So you can see that. And then the other side, right here. And then I also painted under here. I wanted it to have everything colored. And then on the bottom, of course, with the clear and everything, that protects it from rust and all the elements. And that was my main concern, which is why I wanted to paint it. But it came out really nice. And I just gotta wait a couple days for this to fully dry before I start putting the filler panel. And I get to test my filler panel, because I painted that too. And I get to test that out, see if it cracks when I bend it. So there it is. Thank you very much for watching.